views and opinions expressed in the following program are those of the hosts and guests, and not necessarily those of the staff and management of WWDB-TV.
Whether she's walking the red carpet or doing interviews, you'll find her with celebrities and all the latest news. She's here, she's there, she's everywhere, she's always on the go. So sit back, relax, and get ready, 'cause it's the Corey Taylor Talks Show.
Yes, but today I am actually joined over the phone with truly just an icon. You know her from, I mean, so many different films. One of my favorite films, literally of all time, E.T. Yes, we got a yes in the audience. Cujo. I mean, 10. I just so many different films. And in fact, now over 200. I mean, she has just had a phenomenal career. And what is amazing is she's such a good person. And throughout this, she's just stayed so positive and kind. And I am just truly honored to have her on. So hi, Dee. How are you?
I'm good, darling. How are you?
I am so good. Truly, thank you so much for doing this. Truly, it is such an honor.
My pleasure. Glad to be here.
Yes. So, first of all, congratulations. Over 200 titles. You are the only living actress with that, with over 200 credits to your name. That is phenomenal.
I am?
Yes, you
How
are.
can that be? I didn't know that.
Oh,
How
you
do you know that?
Yes, congratulations. I mean, that is just one heck of a feat. That is amazing, Dee. Amazing.
Well, you know, when you get to do what you love and you just keep out creating, that's what happens, I guess.
No. I mean, I that's really unheard of. Over 200 titles, the only living actress with that is just phenomenal, and you completely deserve it. Because, like I said, first of all, you're an incredible actress, and I think that just shows. I don't think you'd be cast 200 times if you weren't. But you are an incredible actress, and what's even more important is you're such an incredible person, and that is such a rare thing, especially in Hollywood. But you're just such an amazing woman, and I really applaud you for that, because you're just the best.
Well, thank you. I have my mommy to thank for that. My mommy and my grandma, they raised me well. They taught me integrity and truthfulness and trust and love, and so it was interesting when E.T. came out. A lot of the press said, well, how has this changed your life? And I said, well, it hasn't changed me, and it hasn't changed my life. It certainly has changed the way I've been received in the business. But I am who I am, and intending to always stay that way.
No, I think you have, and also you raised a beautiful daughter who's also incredibly talented, and you're just a great duo together. And we're actually going to have her on the show in July, so I'm excited to have her on as well.
Oh, great! You know, her book just went live on Amazon.
Yes, I did want to talk. That is so cool. And it sounds amazing. I haven't read it yet, but it sounds just amazing.
It is amazing. It's Eat, Pray, #FML. And it's available on Amazon right now. If you've ever been challenged in relationships in any way, you want to read this book. It's just throughout the whole book, you go, oh, my God, that didn't happen, too. And I think it's going to help a lot of people heal, you know?
Yeah. And I do think that's amazing that you raise such a beautiful, talented, and sweet as well, just like you, daughter. And I think that's so great that you were just a great duo and really an iconic family. I mean, that's just such a cool thing. And you raised her right. And just like you said, your mom raised you right. So you did a great job with that.
Yep. I'm passing. And, you know, it took me 6 years to get pregnant with Gabrielle. Wow. Everybody... And I said, well, God and I have a different plan. And we joke a lot. She said, yeah, Mom, there were thousands of us up there, and finally I shot my hand up and I said, okay, she's not going to give up, I'll go. And, she's my best friend. We work together and create together and laugh together and love together, and yeah. Best production I ever did in my life.
That is so cool, and you are just a wonderful mother, and that's a rare thing in Hollywood. And honestly, any of these days, it's so rare to have such a phenomenal parent. But you've just been great to her, and you were a great team together, and both so extremely talented. So.
Yeah, we just finished a movie together called Await the Dawn, which is a great. It's a great combination of sci-fi and horror. And we just finished it, so I don't know when it's going to be out again. But I'm spending most of my day. She's having a big book signing party, and Mom's in charge of the catering and the flowers. So I've been hired with very little pay, I might say, Corey.
That's so funny. No, but actually, that's so cool that you guys did Await the Dawn together, because that was your 200th movie credit. Did you know that?
Well, you've done a lot of research, haven't you, baby?
Yeah. I just triple checked when you said that. I was like, that's definitely right. Yeah, that is definitely your 200th movie credit.
I didn't know specifically that was it. So thank you for that piece of information.
Yeah, so a movie you did together. How cool. I mean, what an awesome thing, and an awesome thing you have together.
Yes, indeed. Very blessed.
Yeah. Oh, yes. And I do want to talk about your career, because, like I said, you're just in so many iconic films that will be around for years and years to come, because they are just truly legendary. First off, E.T. I love that. That was my whole childhood, was E.T. And that was so cool that you were in that. And Cujo, one of the best horror films. And it's what's so cool about it is it's more realistic, and I don't know, just every one of your films you do, you just exceed everything, and you can do anything from amazing family movies to scary horror films, and I think that's so cool, and that really shows your range with everything you do as well.
Yeah, and I like it that way. I would get bored playing the same character or doing the same genre all the time. I like variation. I'm also a clairaudient channel, and I have a whole healing practice all over the world. And I go back and forth between that and doing horror films and speaking engagements. I just got back from Fort Lauderdale. All of that makes me who I am, and it makes me really happy when I can be busy doing all the stuff that I love to do. Yeah. So for all your listeners out there, don't think you have to choose. Just do everything that gives you joy and keeps you in your bliss.
Yeah. And I have to ask, so when you were actually you were a teacher for a while, correct?
Yes. I was a high school teacher.
So how did you go from that to becoming this amazing actress? What made you go that direction?
Well, I started acting when I was pretty young. My mom, we were very poor, and so she would trade her secretarial skills to get me what they called back then elocution lessons. And I would perform readings for, like, the music clubs and different things around town. And my mom produced and directed all the religious plays at our church, and I started out as a baby Jesus and ended up as a Virgin Mary before I went to New York. But when I said, Mom, I wanted to start out as a dancer. That's really where my dream was. And I studied with a prima ballerina from Germany, and after my last solo appearance, she took me aside and she said, I'm going to do you a big favor. You will always be good. You will never be great. If you want to be great, go do something else. Well, I wanted to be great, so I thank her profusely for that guidance. And I turned my sights to the next thing I wanted to do that I knew, which was acting. And but my mother said, please, for me, just have something to fall back on so I know you're always going to be okay. So I finished my studies at the University of Kansas, and I taught a year of high school. And then I said, Mom, you know, I gave you what you needed, and I'm glad I did. I used my degree, you know, to this very day for different things. But now I'm going to New York. And so I'd never been out of Kansas in my life and moved to New York, and the rest, they say, is kind of history.
Absolutely. And you have so many really, like I said, iconic films. Do you have one that is like your favorite you've done? I'm sure there's too many to even pick, but do you have like a favorite maybe set you worked on or a favorite movie you've done?
I do, and it's Cujo. I
Ah,
can't say it was my favorite to work on because it was the hardest thing I have ever done in my career.
I can imagine.
But um, I feel like I went as far as I could go as truthfully as I could do it,
Yeah.
and which is what I always try to do. I think that's my job for the directors and producers and my fans, is to be as truthful and authentic and go all the way. It was the toughest thing I've ever tackled in my life, spiritually, emotionally, mentally, physically, but it's the picture I'm proudest of, yeah.
And I can imagine it was a very difficult shoot. And like I said, you're just so believable in it, and the struggle of trying to protect your son. I mean, it was done so well, and it's a horror film, but it was a very well made horror film that made it really anyone could watch it and really love it. So what made it so difficult on set? I'm sure there was a lot of aspects to it, but what made it so difficult for you?
Well, every single solitary scene is, when do I break down? How much do I break down? How do I break down? And you have to understand, guys, every time you see a scene like that, we probably had to film it 10 to 15 times. So your body does not know between a perceived threat and a real threat. So for 8 weeks, we were all in fight or flight.
Wow.
And pumping adrenaline continually. And every time, you know, the dog and the 6-year-old little boy would actually work in the same take, they would print it. So I had to be on all the time, full out emotion. And your body just goes, okay, I've got to keep pumping adrenaline because there's a threat here. And so I blew out my adrenals, and they treated me for exhaustion for about 3 weeks afterwards.
Wow.
Yeah, and I think it was worth it.
Oh, I absolutely, and it's truly, it's just such an iconic film that everyone loves. I mean, really, it's. And I had to ask, was the dog really there, or like, did you actually
Oh
interact
yes.
with it? Oh, it was really.
Oh yes. There were 13 dogs
Oh.
that all played Cujo, trained to do different tricks with different toys. One of them was taught to do all the jumping. One of them was taught to, you know, stand and growl and look mean. One of them was taught to go through the window at the end, which was, we didn't think we were going to get a dog to be able to do that. But in the end, our brilliant animal trainer, Carl Miller, pulled it off. So there was also a stuntman in a dog suit. He didn't do many shots in the movie, but he did the shots where it would have been dangerous to ask the dog to do. And also, you know, you can't overwork animals like you can overwork me, for example. So we had to have several dogs so that they wouldn't. There was a lot of effort on the set. We had a veterinarian on the set all the time for the dogs. Carl even slept in the barn with the dogs to take care of them.
Wow.
There was great effort that the dogs were respected and taken good care of.
Yeah, that's such a cool, and that's very, that's not very common, especially even today. It's people don't really take care of the dogs as well. So that's really cool that back then they were so adamant about helping them and making sure they were okay, but not so much
Yeah,
you,
well,
like
there's
you
a lot of
said.
rules in place in Hollywood around. It's pretty strict now.
Yeah.
Animal care on a set.
Yeah. What a cool thing. And then one film that I know people are just dying to come out, Three from Hell, which you are going to be in, of course, the Rob Zombie film. Everyone is so looking forward to that. Did you guys finish filming that yet, or are you going to film? Are you
Oh,
currently
yes.
filming? Oh, you
Oh, yeah,
finished
we
it? Okay.
finished last year.
Oh, wow.
And then Rob's been on tour. It's coming out in September. And the fans will not be disappointed. Let me tell you, it's classic Rob Zombie. You're going to have to look really hard to even recognize me in the movie.
Really?
And I was thrilled. I got to do a lot of scenes with Sherry. And, they're both just such lovely, kind people. And Rob is just this creative powerhouse. I mean, the man can do frickin' anything. Art, music, direction, he does it all. And he's an actor's dream to work with because he's just he knows what he wants. He knows exactly what he wants, but then he wants his actors to bring in all their ideas and try them, and that's when you get the best of everything. Is film and TV and theater. They're all collaborative efforts. It takes everybody's talent, from the writer to the director to the actors to the editors, even to the marketing people, to make the film a success. And if you're not open to everybody's ideas, oftentimes you close down, the world of all possibilities for your film.
Yeah. No, absolutely, and I know people. Yeah, he is incredible, and I know people are very excited about it, and for you to be part of it too. It seems like he got a lot of classic horror film star. I think that was really cool.
Yeah, he really is great about bringing the icons back.
Yeah.
In the horror genre, and also bringing back actors. This is my third film I've done with him.
Yeah.
If you consider Super Beasto. And I think any actor that you would talk to would say, if Rob calls, I go. Are you there?
Oh, I'm sorry. I think we're breaking up a little bit here and there.
Yeah, we are here and there, but we're making it, Corey.
We're going through. We're powering through. Oh, are you there?
I'm here.
Okay, all right. No, I think no, he is amazing, and but you've worked with a lot of incredible people, and I mean, a lot of iconic directors, and I think that's just because you're such a good person, and you're so insanely talented. And you're so versatile too, which not a lot of people are, and you can do just anything. And I do want to talk about too, kind of showing how good of a person you are. Like you said, you were a spiritual guide and everything, and you have your radio show, and you do a lot with that, and even the teddy bear. So I want to get all involved with that too, because you do so much more than even just acting.
Yes, I'm a clairaudient channel. I teach people how to direct energy and how to live and think consciously so they can create the lives they want. It's And when I started channeling, it's funny because that's really how I act, is I channel my characters. And when I literally started channeling, I went, oh my God, I know this. I've been doing this, in my acting.
Right.
Yet kind of being guided and taking on energy, right?
Yeah.
So it's very powerful work. I have a radio show on Blog Talk every Sunday morning at 9 a.m. where you can call in and ask the channel guidance about any question you want, from sex to drinking to money to success, anything. And that goes out worldwide. You can, the easiest way to find it is to go to my website, iamdwallace.com, and on the home page, you will see a place where you can connect into the show. That's the easiest way to tell you how to get there over the air. And then I do webinars every month, and speaking engagements where I teach conscious creation. And I have 5 books out on the subject. Your audience would probably love to read Bright Light. All my 5 books are available on Amazon. But Bright Light is literally kind of my autobiography through all the big movies and the big directors I've worked with, and all the lessons in conscious creation that I've learned along the way. So it's a really good read. It's fascinating. Again, I wrote it so people can identify their own lives and their own challenges with mine, and hopefully get some guidance how to get your power back.
That's very cool. And so that's a very different direction from your acting, obviously. And I don't think a lot of people and get into channeling and your radio show and like the guidance and the positivity you share with everyone. So how did you actually start doing that? What made you start getting into channeling?
My husband died. My husband of 18 years, Christopher Stone. A lot of your listeners know him. We were married and we worked together, did the Howling Cujo, the new Lassie, together. He's my daughter's father. And when he died, I fell to my knees and I said, I don't want to be pissed off. I don't want to be a victim. I want a way we can heal ourselves. And, of course, ask and you receive. And within seconds, I got the first download, I call them, from the voice. And it said, use the light within yourself to heal yourself, which I have been really learning what the expansion of that means ever since. And I think our biggest challenge is that we're just not taught that we have power over ourselves and our lives. We're taught that we aren't worthy, that we don't have the right to decide, that it's fate or destiny or karma or whatever excuse we want to adopt for not going, it's up to me. What the hell am I going to do with my life? And when you really accept the responsibility for that, your life changes.
Oh, I can imagine. And is that how you kind of got into your radio show too, to start helping people that way?
Absolutely. That's the reason I started the radio show, is that, when you know the truth, you feel obligated to get the truth out to people. I mean, this work really changed my life and changed my success. I don't think I'd have my daughter without it, because, 6 specialists told me I would never get pregnant. But I never lost focus, and I never lost my intention. And I said, I am creating this baby. And it took me 6 years, but here she is, my best friend, um, best thing I ever did. But you have to know what you want. You have to commit to it. And what commitment is no matter what I have to do, I'm doing this. No matter what I have to do, I'm doing this. And um, and and then you work with the universe. But it begins with you. You've got to know what you want, and you've got to commit to it.
That's very true. And I have to say, I listened to your show a couple times, and it's just so positive, and it's powerful. And like you said, you cover everything. I mean, it's a fascinating show. I love listening to it. It's just so good.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm so glad you got a chance to tune in.
Yes, and I do want to ask too, what advice do you have for people? You kind of went into it a bit, but what advice do you have for people? Because I know it's so difficult sometimes, and it always seems like everything goes wrong, and the world's just so negative right now. What advice do you have for people that are just feeling so down and disheartened by everything?
My advice is to never use the words you just used.
Oh.
Gotcha! Because, and I'll tell you why, this is literally brain science, okay? The more, whatever positive or negative statements you make about yourself in the world is the only thing that your brain allows you to see. And what your brain allows you to see is literally creating the experience of your life. So if you keep saying, as my mother used to say, the world's going to hell in a handbasket, and there's no hope, and we're so screwed up, and everything's so negative, all you're going to see in your life through the perspective of you is how negative things are, which will create more negativity because you will believe it more. So, every day before I get out of bed, I direct my day. I don't say, this is going to be a great day. I say, this is a great day. And I am love, and I am joy, and I am balance, and I am success, and I am money, and I am love, right? Because you have to define yourself in the positive if you want your life to expand in the positive.
Yeah. No, I think that's great, and I will not use that word anyway.
Yeah, just watch how, if you keep focused on how big your butt is, guys, your butt is going to stay big. Something we can all identify with. When I work with people around money, I'll go, well, what do you want? Well, I don't want to have to worry about money. Yeah, but what do you want? Well, I wish I had more money. Yeah, but what do you want? What do you want to create? What state do you want to live in monetarily? And sometimes it takes them 20 minutes to go, I want a lot of money, and I always want to be secure in my money, and I want to make money doing all the stuff I love to do. And I went, great, now you can start making money. But if you're not loving money, why do you think money's going to come to you? You're in relationship with money just like you're in relationship with everything else.
Right. No, I think that's so true, and your brain is so powerful, and I think that's great the way you said it. That you really had to watch your wording and your thoughts, and people are hard on themselves, and they need to stop doing that because, like you said, it's just going to make it worse or keep the same.
You just keep getting the life you've gotten if you keep doing that. But we're taught from the time we're little, be humble and put yourself down and don't say you're magnificent. And I'm telling you all, they were wrong.
Yes.
They were wrong. God even says in the good book, these things and more will you do also, speaking about miracles. So he gave us permission to go create miracles, but you see, miracles don't make sense. So if we're going to create miracles, we have to be open to all thought and all possibility and all the magic of the universe and love what we're creating, and then miracles can happen.
Yeah, very true. And I want to talk about your teddy bear too, because I think that is the coolest thing ever. I have a little niece and nephew, and uh, they get bullied a lot sometimes, and they go through a lot in school, and so I think that teddy bear is just such a brilliant thing, and I think so many kids need it, and they need that positivity, and they need a friend that will give that to them, and I think that teddy bear is the coolest thing ever. So why don't you talk about that too, and how you actually created that?
Well, I created it because brain science will tell you that as far as how we see ourselves in the world, and how we think, how much the world honors and thinks we're worthy, is completely locked into your brain by 7 years old.
Wow.
So what we teach our kids about the joy of who they are and how magnificent they are and how powerful they are serves them their entire life, so that when that bully comes to them and says, "You're stupid," they know within themselves, "I am smart. So it doesn't bother me what you say because I know who I am." And so Bapalopaloo, the little bear, that has really powerful statements like, "I love my body," and "I love who I am," and "I am so smart," and "I love life," and that every time you press the paw, you hear another statement. So that what we do is we encourage the kids to state it back to the bear, right? So that they're literally saying the strong positive statement back to the bear and claiming it for themselves.
Wow. And now I
which
think
creates brain cells so that they can stay in their knowing around how powerful they really are.
absolutely. I think that's such a cool thing, and I think a lot of children will love it and can really benefit of it. And I didn't know that everything's locked in by 7. I had no idea about that. That's
Yep.
crazy.
Yep. It's pretty staggering, isn't it?
It is.
So that's why you never want to say to your kids, "You're so stupid. Why'd you do that?"
Right.
You know, and you don't want to give them any kind of limiting definitions or negative definitions about who they are. Every parent that I counsel in my clients, I tell them, get the book Parent of Training, and what's that other book? Your Child's Self-Esteem. 2 brilliant books on how to raise a positive, happy, powerful child.
How cool. No, I think that's such an important thing, and they're the future, so we want them to be good and positive and happy, and even if you don't have kids, you want other kids to be that way because they are the future and they're the next generation. So I
That's
think
right.
it's important we raise them the right way for sure.
And we need happier people in this world.
Oh yes, we definitely do. And I think that's why it's so cool that you are doing this and you are making such an impact on so many people's lives. And the radio show gets it out there. And then you said you also do private sessions and everything as well?
I do, all over the world. Yeah, I have clients all over the world. I do them over the phone. All energy is connected. So you don't ever have to be in person with somebody to get a fabulous reading. Just have and amazingly enough, I'm able to do all this around my acting.
Yeah.
It just always seems to fall in perfectly.
No, I think that's so cool. I was going to ask how you balance all that because I think being alone with what you're doing with that would make you insanely busy and take up all your time. But you balance out your acting and you do phenomenal films and they just keep coming. I mean, over 200 credits. That's amazing.
Yeah, I think again you have to love when you love all the things that you do, you don't work.
Right.
You just do things you love. But I am vigilant about making sure my days are in balance. I get up, I have some time with my dog, we go on a gratitude walk, spend some time with my assistant about what needs to get done during the day. And then I'm kind of full out until 6 o'clock, but when 6 o'clock comes, I want to have my glass of wine. I want to have dinner with my honey or my daughter, and really have a life
Yeah.
and a balance in that life. And I think too many of us have bought this work night and day till you're burnt out until you make it, and they've got a lot of studies that prove that that's the very thing that will keep you from making it.
Wow. Oh, that's very interesting. But you found the perfect balance. You found the absolute perfect balance, and you're able to help so many people, and then make your incredible films. And I think it's so cool that you're so passionate about everything, and that you are really doing what you love. And I think a lot of people can learn from that for sure.
Yeah, uh, I know they can, and I know they can learn in whatever area of their life isn't working optimally for them. You can learn to shift that and create that part of your life the way you want it. You can, because I've done it, and I've taught a lot of other people to do it. But you have to choose. It has to start with you.
Yeah, well, you did it. And I want to ask you a couple of fun questions because like I said, you're just truly an icon, and I think everyone wants to know everything about you. So I just want to ask you a couple questions that maybe aren't your typical ones, just so people can get to know you a
Sure.
little bit better. Is that good?
Yeah.
All right, cool. All right, so the first one is if you could have dinner with anybody, dead or alive, who would it be and why?
Oh dear God. Um, well, I would love to have dinner with Anthony Hopkins
Oh, that's a
because
good one.
I'm such a huge fan of his talent. And I would love to have dinner with Christ
Yes.
because I really think Christ was teaching brain science, and I would like to brainstorm all that stuff with him. um, and I would like to have dinner with my mom.
Yeah.
I would love to just have that time with her again.
Yeah. Absolutely. And okay, so if you could remake any film, what film with you as the lead, what film would you remake and who would your co-star be?
Oh my God. Hold on, I've got to think. If there's a film I've ever done that I would want to remake. What a great question. But you've got me stumped, kind of. I'm sure that there is a film. And oh my God, if we just done this or we just done that. Seriously, I can't come up with one, Corey. I love 10. I mean, there's a lot of smaller films that I've done, but that I'm sure that would apply to. But my big films, The Howling, The Frighteners,
Yeah.
I wouldn't really change anything.
No, I think that's cool.
That's an amazing thing to admit to.
Yes.
I'm kind of humbled by that question, quite frankly. But I don't think there's anything I would want to redo. There's a lot of projects that they wanted me for that I couldn't do because of time restraints. I was on other projects. Like Adam, there was an incredible movie of the week about the first abducted child named Adam, and now his dad has a big show, network show on about children and how to protect children and get everything in place for the. And I really, really wanted to do that movie of the week. But it doubled up over one day with another project I was doing with Dom DeLuise, and neither side would wait. Neither side would budge on that day.
Dang it.
Yeah, but hey, it was somebody else's turn, I guess. Jo Beth Williams did it, and she was awesome.
Yeah, that's great. And then, okay, so if you could only watch one TV show for the rest of your life, what TV show would it be?
The Voice.
Oh, The Voice? You like it?
I love The Voice. I love the talent. I love the structure of the show. I love the coaches. It makes me feel good. It makes me smile, and the talent is extraordinary.
Yeah.
And to see these people's dreams, come true, being so supported like that. Yeah.
That's great.
That or How to Get Away with Murder or Law and Order. Any of those I'd be happy to watch for the rest of my life.
Well, I think Law and Order will go on forever, so that one probably.
I hope so. I travel so much and all different. The shows are all different, and I just say, please, God, find me a Law and Order because it's on everywhere, and always I can find one. And I go, see, there is a God out there. There's a Law and Order on for me to watch.
That's awesome. And then, do you believe in aliens?
Absolutely.
You do?
I don't know how anybody can't.
I agree.
There's too much proof out there. But what I know about aliens is that they can't interfere with the creation of who we are, but they are trying to direct us and protect us in a positive way. So Steven Spielberg got it right, and most of the rest of the people didn't. They're not scary, they're not evil, they're not out to get us. And I just know this from dealing with the other side a lot.
No, that's awesome. And I agree. I think there's way too much proof. I don't know how anyone could deny it. So.
Yeah, it just doesn't even make any sense. And now you're starting to see a lot of reports from the Air Force about, objects and flying things that don't have any exhausts and what the heck are they and all that stuff. And we go, oh, look at the surprise on my face, right?
Right. So shocked.
Yeah.
Okay, if you were deserted on an island and you could only bring 3 items, what would you bring?
Music, my toothbrush, and my daughter.
Ah, very cool. And there you go. Then you're set for life.
Pretty much. I mean, I guess food would be a good thing in there too, but I figured there was food on the island somewhere, so.
It's already there. You're okay. Well, kind of speaking of food, if you could only eat one meal for the rest of your life, what would you eat?
Salmon.
Salmon, really?
Oh, yeah, I love salmon.
Really? Very cool. Do you have a particular dish or just any? Salmon
and a really great vegetable and a glass of really good Cabernet.
There you go.
And chocolate for dessert.
That's my girl. That means
gotta have my chocolate, dude. I'm a chocoholic.
Ditto. What's your favorite place in the world?
Hawaii.
Hawaii? Which island or area?
South Africa runs a close second, but I would have to say Hawaii.
Very cool. Yeah, I've never been there, but it's beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful.
Oh, honey, go. Immediately. Go to Maui. Maui's the best.
Maui.
It's busy enough, it's busy enough, and yet it's relaxed enough that you can get away from the busy if you want to.
That's great. And then this one, a lot of people have a difficult time answering it. I think you'll be able to because you are so open and you already know yourself so well. But what is the best no you've ever been given? So like no, like NO.
Best no I've ever been given. I'm sure this isn't the best no, but the first thing that surfaced was I tested for this series a long time ago. Don't ask me what the name of it was. I don't remember. And it was between me and another girl, and I wanted it. And she got it. And about 6 months later, I ran into her. And she said, "Boy, Dee, did you ever dodge a bullet on that one?" And I went, "Why? I wanted so badly to do that." She said, "It was the most horrifying experience I've ever had. Everybody was mean. Everybody was fighting every day. I felt disrespected. I felt dishonored, So sometimes the universe gives you a no as a really big yes."
Very true. Yeah, that's a great one. And then, what is the most memorable behind-the-scenes moment out of all the movies you've ever done, all over 200, which is just incredible? What is your favorite behind-the-scenes moment?
I think it would have to be the moment I met E.T. for the first time.
Oh.
Yeah. I was awe-stricken with how amazing they had designed this little creature and how, because they had somebody working him when I met him for the first time. See, I talked about him like he's a real person.
Right.
And I felt something on a soul level. And I think that's why the movie still to this day so many people, because it reaches our heart on a level, and you got to keep your heart open, and you've got to stay in love, and you got to help your friends. And really, if you do that in life, life's going to be pretty good. And you're always going to get back home, by the way.
Yes. And I had to ask because I remember when I was little, it's just amazing that because the technology for this is like brand new and everything. How did they actually do it? Because I remember my mom would always say, "Oh, it was actually an alien," and she would always say it was actually a real alien when I was a little kid. So how did they actually create him?
Well, the ET was made out of latex and designed, but there were many, many components that brought ET to life. Um, one of the ETs was run with hydraulics that moved the eyes and the neck and all that stuff. There also were suits where little people would get in them. The way we got E.T.'s distinctive walk was a little boy with no legs was put in upside down and walked on his hands, and that's how we got E.T.'s walk. We had a mimist on set that did all of the hand movements and arm movements for E.T. So it's amazing what goes into the creation of all of these different aspects of these creatures, whether they're real dogs or they're latex puppets.
How crazy. That's so cool. I had no idea it was so many different things, but that's why
Yeah,
it was so special and magical, and it was just so realistic.
yeah. It's a beautiful forever film. It's our Wizard of Oz.
That's right. No, it's truly just an iconic film that everyone loved, and my niece and nephew, they're years from now, years after it came out, but they still I showed it to them and they're just in awe of it. They love it, absolutely love it. I mean, I
Good.
don't care
Pass
how
it
old.
down, baby. Keep passing it down.
That's right. No, I don't think it'll ever get old. I think it will truly always be one of those legendary films. And you had such a great part, and yeah, you were the perfect mother. I mean, it was just the whole entire movie was just phenomenal.
Thank you. I agree.
Yes. Well, thank you so much for doing this. I really want to go over everything. Where can people keep up to date with you? Keep on contact with you. Reach out to you for maybe private readings or anything. Where can people keep in contact with you?
You can reach me to do everything through my website. You can email me directly. It comes right into my home office. I would really suggest that everybody sign up for my e-blast because there's a wealth of information that comes out every Monday. And just go on the website. There's a lot of free stuff to listen to that's life-changing. And then go to the store, guys, because all stuff is really affordable.
Yeah.
And there is something there around every subject of your life that you would ever hope to want to get discernment and truth about. So just go play around. You'll have a good time. There's a lot there.
Yes. And I'm sure everyone's just so excited to see all the movies you have coming up because you're always doing amazing things. And with your daughter, the 200th film, I mean, just everything you have coming out looks great. And I know people are very excited about all of it.
I hope so. And I hope to see you at all at the conventions and talk to you on my show.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much, Dee. I really, once again, it was truly such an honor to have you on. You're a phenomenal person, woman, actress, everything. I really looked up to you for years, so it's such an honor to have you on.
Oh, thank you, sweetheart. It was a great interview.
Oh,
really great interview. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And we will see you soon. I'd love to have you back on. And if you ever come to Vegas, too, I'd love to do an in-person interview, too.
All right, baby.
All right,
I will let you know.
Yes, thank you so much, Dee. Thank you.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye. And that was the one and only, the icon, the legendary Miss Dee Wallace. As you can see, what a incredible, I don't even know the right words to say of how phenomenal she was. So please go check her out. As you can see, she has so much to teach, and we have so much to learn. She is just a great person, and you should really reach out to her, listen to her show. It's great. All the movies coming out, just really such an honor to have her on. And we will also be having her daughter in July, so stick around for that as well. But thank you guys so much for watching. And remember, never give up, always believe, and you'll achieve. Thank you.
You talk about that 3-year-old little girl protecting. How does that play into success that you experience later in life or keeping you from success later in life?
That's an awesome question because it's a dichotomy. It works both ways. Basically, my message was, Dee Dee, if you don't save everybody, they're not going to be okay. They'll die. Which makes me an incredible healer and an incredible teacher and a wonderful mother because I'm a caretaker. It also can sabotage or confuse the intention of that so that I come forward to sacrifice myself and give myself up in order to serve others. And I don't believe we're ever asked to sacrifice ourselves because at the end of sacrifice we're either enabling someone and then we move into resentment. So instead of sacrifice, if you want to serve because you're joyful about the service and you are choosing, and in that way, like a good hug, you're receiving at the same moment you're giving, that's a whole different take than sacrifice. And the intention is, I love myself so much that I want to bring that love forward to you, but I've got to love me first.
Now, you've just hit upon some things, though, that society sometimes reacts negatively to. For instance, I have to love me first. Some people would say, you think? Well, some people say, oh, that's self-centered, or that's narcissistic, or that's so misplaced, or, you know, if you want to achieve success in your personal life, you have to sacrifice for your loved ones. Or if you want to achieve success in business, you have to sacrifice.
Well, I'm in total disagreement of that, and I think people don't really understand. I mean, when we come in, we all come in with our light, right? We all come in as this bright light. And then we're the center of the world if we're lucky, and most of us are, until around like 1.5 or 2. And then it starts, give your toy away. I don't care if you want to play in the sandbox. Johnny wants to be in there. No, you can't have that. Don't ask for that. Good little girls and boys, don't ask. You know, and then we get to our adult selves and go, wow, why can't I create my life? Instead of, yes, you're honored, and you're beautiful, and you're magnificent, and you are part of the creative force of everything in this world. And when you know that, and I truly think that's the real meaning of the Nelson Mandela quote, you know, when we move into our own power of the beauty and love that we are, in the highest sense of the way, not the narcissistic, but wow, when I can look in the mirror and go, Deanna, I love you. When we can really love ourselves like that, then we give everybody else the power to love themselves, and then the world heals itself.